Good evening and welcome to WCBN Radio 88.3 FM Ann Arbor. This is Will Yang alongside Jeff Chan. We are coming to you live from the Chrysler Center as the 22nd ranked Indiana Hoosiers come in to take on the home Michigan Wolverines. Indiana is first in the Big Ten and has one of the nation's most explosive offenses. The Hoosiers are seventh in the nation in scoring and third in both field goal and three-point percentage and are led by superstar senior point guard Kevin Yogi Ferrell. For the Wolverines, this will be their ninth straight game without their star player, Karis LeVert, who is nursing a leg injury. But they're hot, riding a four-game win streak, their last win against Penn State and MSG in New York. So, Jeff, what are the keys for both teams tonight?
I think the three keys to this game for Indiana. Indiana coming to this game averaging 85.2 points per game, shooting red hot from the floor, 51.7% from two as a team and 43.2% from three as a team. Also, they get it done defensively, first in the Big Ten in defensive efficiency. The three keys to the game: attack down low with Thomas Bryant and Troy Williams. They got two great athletic big guys down in the low post. Run the offense through them. That's low post. It has been a Michigan weakness. They like to play small, and I think Indiana, with its athletic bigs, can take advantage of that. Two, it has to minimize the turnovers. Indiana has had issues with turnovers this season, and it has cost them big time in some games. So taking care of the ball, especially with its guards and its bigs down low. And three, of course, you always have to account for Yogi Ferrell, and Indiana wants Yogi Ferrell to get going. Yogi Ferrell is the heart and soul of its team. It's the best player on the team. It might be one of the best players in the country. And I think for Indiana, if it wants to be able to win this game, Yogi Ferrell has to have a good night. Now for Michigan, Michigan's coming up hot, 79-72 win over Penn State, 7-2 in Big Ten play so far. And another big note, 11-1 at home record so far. So three keys to the game. One, continue running the offense through Derek Walton and Zach Irvin. Those two have been the captains of this team since Karis LeVert has gone down, and they are the two best players on the floor. Number two, getting Duncan Robinson going. Duncan Robinson has had some trouble finding his three-point shot in the last couple of games. I don't expect that to last forever, and I think he could have a big night, especially against Indiana, whose defense is prone to some lapse. And three is having a strong perimeter defense. If he could get his perimeter defense in check, contain Indiana's guards and Ferrell and Hartman, I think Michigan will be in good hands. I think if they could play some good defense, they will be in good shape for this game.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Jeff. Yogi Ferrell, one of the best players in the Big Ten. He's leading the league in scoring and assists and steals, and he has 28 games of 20-plus points since the 13-14 season, and he's also the third all-time in three-point shooting at IU. How do you think Michigan will handle just such a special player in Yogi Ferrell?
I mean, you can't really stop him. You can only hope to contain him. I mean, obviously, I think you're going to see Derek Walton, maybe Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman rotate guarding him. They're the two best perimeter defenders. So I think you just hope to contain him, throw him off rhythm. Don't let him get into one of those shooting hot streaks and let him take over the game. I think that is the key for Michigan.
And the players have taken the court now. The starters for Indiana are number 11, Yogi Ferrell, the spectacular point guard from Indianapolis, Indiana. And the other four starters are Robert Johnson at the shooting guard position, Colin Hartman at the three, Troy Williams at forward position, and the special freshman, number 31, Thomas Bryant at the center for the Hoosiers. For the Michigan Wolverines, number 10, Derek Walton, and number 12, Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman in the backcourt. And the other three starters are Duncan Robinson, the tremendous three-point shooter, Zach Irvin, the do-it-all guy, and the big man down low, Mark Donnell at the 5. And the ball is tipped right to Yogi Ferrell of Indiana, and quickly Indiana's got it in their offense. High ball screen, pass to Troy Williams, gives it to Hartman in the corner. Down low early to Thomas Bryant. He's posting up Donnell, makes a move to the left, and an easy bucket for Thomas Bryant.
Yeah, we're going to see that a lot. I mean, I highlighted that in my three keys for this game for Indiana. Run the offense down low. Thomas Bryant, 6'10", incredible true freshman. Indiana's going to lean on him a lot.
And a quick mid-range jumper by Walton, and it goes. And the game's 2-2. Indiana quickly moving it down court. It's one of the things Tom Crean loves to emphasize with this Hoosiers team is moving the ball quickly. Troy Williams dribbling at the top of the key, drives right against Robinson, no good. Rebound, tip to Hartman. Hartman in the corner, shoots a three, and that one rims out. Walton's fighting for the rebound, but Yogi Farrell corrals it. Quick alley-oop to Troy Williams. It slips out of his hands, and Zach Irvin has it, and he's pushing the tempo. Quick pass to Robinson, shoots the three. That one's no good. Rebound by Donnell, and he's looking to pass it out right now. Zach Irvin's got it at the top of the key, and the Wolverines decide to slow down the tempo. Rockman's got it, swings it to Robinson in the corner, back to Walton at the top. Quick pass to Zach Irvin. Irvin drives left against Troy Williams, sees nothing. Back to Robinson, back to Rockman at the top of the corner. Looks inside to Donnell, nothing there, gives it to Walton. Walton dribbles left, switch against Bryant, takes a three, right in the face of Thomas Bryant, no good, but a foul called on Robert Johnson of the Hoosiers.
Yeah, great job right there by Mark Donnell fighting for the ball, and Thomas Bryant just shoved him out of the way. Easy call for the refs. Going back earlier in this possession, Duncan Robinson, Michigan on that transition. Duncan Robinson got a good look. This is what Michigan also needs to do, is be strong in transition, getting Duncan open looks that way because he has to hit them.
And quick inbounds to Rockman. Quickly gives it to Walton to set up the offense. Robinson on a curl screen. Layup, no good. Contested by Indiana. And the Hoosiers are quick in transition. Quick pull-up three by Farrell. No good. Rebounded, put back by Hartman, but that one doesn't go in. And Michigan is in transition going the other way. Rockman finds Irvin in the corner. Wide open three-pointer, and he airballs that one.
It was a great look. Great job in transition again by Michigan, but Irvin, not a good shot to say the least.
A quick drive, kick out to Farrell, and that one in and out, rebounded by Derek Walton.
Both teams missing some good open looks early.
A quick drive by Robinson. That's an and one. You can count it.
Great job by Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson twice now has driven to the rim. Something you don't see very often with the guy. Purely kind of early in the season, a straight three-point shooter, but he has really developed his game over the course of the Big Ten playoffs. Course of the Big Ten conference play. Developed a mid-range shot, and now is starting to drive to the rim, be more aggressive, attacking to the rim.
And Robinson is one of the best free throw shooters in the country, and he just hits that and one. The score is 5-2 early. Michigan up by 3 early in the ball game. Yogi Farrell's got it, gives it to Johnson in the corner, swings it to Troy Williams. Back to the point guard, Farrell takes a screen from Bryant, drives to the right, kicks it out to Hartman. Hartman looks inside to Bryant. Bryant trying to post up. Mark Donnell kicks it out to Johnson. Johnson three on the wing, no good. Loose ball, tip, rebounded by Rockman. Rockman's pushing the tempo. Kicks it out to Irvin. Irvin, a deep three, and that one's good. 3 points for Zach Irvin.
Michigan has had a lot of success so far in transition. Indiana, so far, surprising 1 of 7 from the floor.
And Yogi Farrell, a quick drive against Robinson, kicks it out to Hartman. Hartman posting up the smaller Walton, but Walton hits it away. Loose ball corralled by Robinson. Back to the point guard. Quick pass ahead to Rockman. And he decides to slow the tempo down. Gives it back to Walton. Walton drives against and kicks it out to Duncan Robinson for 3. And that one is no good. Rebounded by Indiana.
Great offensive possession by Michigan. Again, pushing the tempo. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman not finding an easy layup, dribbles it back out. It's a good possession. Duncan Robinson, though, again, just having some struggles hitting the 3.
And a travel called on the other end for the Hoosiers against Troy Williams. So a lot of early mistakes for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, Indiana, as I said, shooting 1 of 7, not looking, just look like, they want to move fast, but they're not moving like a controlled tempo. They need to slow it down, try running their offense more through Thomas Bryant, and because like that first possession where they got an easy bucket.
Michigan now in their offense. A nice drop down to Donnell, and he finishes at the rim.
Beautiful assist there from Zach Irvin to Mark Donnell. A beautiful pass. That's one of Zach Irvin's strengths, and something he's really developed over the course of the season, was just being more of a distributor, and Donnell having the strength to finish down low.
Yeah, and Indiana really struggling. 0 of their last 6 field goal attempts and 3 turnovers in the last 3.5 minutes of this ball game. It's not looking good for the Hoosiers. Quick drive by Hartman along the baseline. He's fouled by Duncan Robinson, and that will bring us to our first timeout Michigan Wolverines 10, Indiana Hoosiers 2, with 15:53 left to go in the first half. And a little bit about this new rivalry. It seems like Michigan and Indiana have always been some of the top teams in the Big Ten. This is their 163rd meeting, and their last 5 meetings were decided by an average of 5.4 points. Indiana leads the series overall 105-57, but Michigan has the edge, leading the matchup 44-37 in Ann Arbor. So, Jeff, what are your takes early in the game? Michigan up 10-2, an early lead for the Wolverines.
Yeah, this has kind of been Michigan's MO throughout the course of the Big Ten Conference play, is starting out fast. Obviously here, 10-0 run over the last 3 minutes, and that is really kind of what Michigan's done. I mean, getting out to fast starts in the first few minutes, hitting the shots, being quick in transition, and capitalizing on poor transition defense from the opponent. Indiana, I think, just needs to settle down, shooting 1 from 7 from the field. Obviously, that is not going to last, I think, but I think they do need to start playing with some more control. They're getting the open looks. They got it, and I think they need to hit it, but also start packing down low with Thomas Bryant. We saw Michigan kind of go to that 2-3 zone, and so far it's working. And so I think Tom Crean right now needs to try and figure out a way to break that zone that Michigan is running. And I think for Michigan, just continue doing what it's doing, attacking in transition, getting open looks on 3, and also getting Mark Donnell going. He is also going to be a huge key.
And Tom Crean, one of the best coaches in the Big Ten, I think, is he's 14-3 against teams ranked in the top 25. When the Indiana Hoosiers are ranked in the top 25. Tom Crean is 14-3. Like Jeff said, Indiana one of the more explosive offenses, and they'll likely get back in this game. Do you think, we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Karis LeVert not playing. He's out for the 9th straight game for the Wolverines. Do you think the Wolverines will miss him in a crucial Big Ten game against the top team in the Big Ten and the Hoosiers?
Well, right now we're seeing, Michigan does not seem to be missing Karis LeVert that much. You have to realize Michigan has played pretty well with them. They beat a very good Maryland team. They've beaten some pretty decent Big Ten teams so far. Obviously, with the addition of Karis LeVert, it just adds another dynamic. It adds back its best scorer. But previously, also, its leading assists leader and rebounds leader. So obviously, Michigan can use it back. But also, I think, though, having Zach Irvin and Derek Walton step up their game has been a huge, huge plus for Michigan. And I think it's going to continue carrying throughout the rest of this game.
And the players are back on the court. Indiana's getting ready to inbound it after the baseline foul on the Wolverines. Some early substitutions. Aubrey Dawkins, Michigan's 6th man, is now in the game, and he is guarding Yogi Ferrell right now, who's dribbling, weaving, gives it down low to Bryant in the low post. Quick pass to Thomas, and no good. Wolverines have it. That was Colin Hartman who missed that shot.
Yeah, Colin Hartman is not known for being really anything more than just a spot 3-point shooter. So it's a little interesting that Indiana having him try with a little backdoor cut.
Derek Walton with the 3, and that one's no good. That was kind of an ugly shot.
Yeah, I think that was an air ball. I don't think that hit any net or rim.
And Hartman, who you just mentioned, misses the 3, but an easy putback for Robert Johnson.
Yeah, it was just poor boxing out there by Michigan. Got to do a better job, especially with guards like those coming in hot from the key down to the rim.
Aubrey Dawkins on a quick curl, hits the mid-range jumper. That's one of his specialties.
Yeah, Aubrey Dawkins has had a good couple last games, starting to find his rhythm, hitting those shots that he hit a lot in his freshman year.
Troy Williams of Indiana drives against Rockman, and let's see what the call is here. Looks to be an offensive foul on Indiana.
Great job by Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman to take one to the chin right there up by Troy Williams. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman has really been kind of doing the dirty work for Michigan. He takes a lot of charges despite his small stature. That was an impressive job to line up and really take a good hit by a much bigger Troy Williams.
Yeah, Rockman, one of Michigan's best overall defenders. The Wolverines now have it. Zach Irvin drives all the way around, kicks it to Walton in the corner. That's a long 2, and he buries it. Looks like the refs His foot was right on the line, so I think the refs are going to... It looks like Indiana called a timeout, actually.
Tom Crean does not look happy at all. He was very upset with his defense, especially. I mean, I could understand Michigan has gotten a ton of good looks so far, and they have been hitting them. Indiana getting the good look, but not hitting those. But Tom Crean right now needs to calm down his defense and tell them they need to stick with their man and stay on their assignments. That Michigan is getting too many good open looks.
Yeah, and I think Tom Crean called a quick timeout there. And to add insult to injury, the Michigan student section is chanting the "You Suck" chant right now in Tom Crean's ears. So not a good situation for the Hoosiers, down 15-4 early with 14:30 left to go. And some substitutions for the Hoosiers. Number 2, Nick Zeisloft is in the game. He's one of their pure shooters, as well as number 3, OG Anunoby, one of the kind of motor energy guys that the Hoosiers have. Inbound to Farrell, brings it across the timeline, hands off to Zeisloft. Zeisloft scanning, swings it to Johnson. Johnson takes one dribble, gives it to Anunoby in the corner. Pass to Zeisloft. Zeisloft pump fake, kicks to Yogi Farrell. Farrell drives against drives against Walton, and Walton is called for the reaching foul.
I mean, Yogi Farrell, great job attacking the rim. There's really not much Michigan could have done on the play. Not much Walton could have done. Yogi Farrell is such a dynamic player that he's just occasionally going to beat you to the rim.
And substitution for the Hoosiers, number 0, Max Bielfeldt, who's the 5th-year player who transferred from Michigan last year, receiving a mini standing ovation from the crowd. And he's been really big for the Hoosiers this year.
I agree. He has been a surprise. I mean, he has had some good performances in Big Ten, so we'll see if he can have a good game against his old team.
And really quickly, Yogi Farrell on the quick inbound splits the defense and drives for an easy bucket.
Michigan did not look like fully prepared on defense. Yogi Farrell, easy drive to the basket.
Rockman has it now, guarded by Farrell. Scans the court, takes a screen from Janelle, fights through the hedge, takes it himself against Farrell. Step back jumper, right in his face. What a smooth move by Rockman.
Great isolation play by Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman, creating his own shot. That was impressive.
And Farrell right back on the other end, a quick layup.
Unfortunately, though, after that great shot, kind of got lazy on defense and allowed Yogi Farrell to drive right by him.
It's a great matchup at the guard position. Aubrey Dawkins now has it, guarded by Anunoby. Dribbles all the way across the court, looks back, hands it back to Zach Irvin. He's asking for a screen from Janelle. Drives against Bielfeldt, takes a mid-range jumper. That one's no good. Rebounded by Zeisloft, and Indiana's pushing the tempo again. Farrell's got it on the right side, kicks to Zeisloft. Zeisloft takes a deep 3, and that one's good.
Yeah, that's what Zeisloft has put on the floor to do, is just to hit threes, and right there, great look, and Indiana finally gets a 3 to fall.
Yeah, Zeisloft's guy, he's attempted 99 3-pointers and only 10 2-pointers. So he's really a pure shooter for the Hoosiers. A deep 3 by Dawkins with a man right in his face. Loose ball tipped out by Duncan Robinson of Michigan. And looks like Colin Hartman is coming back in for Bielfeldt. He subbed in for Robert Johnson. Farrell has it now, dribbling across the timeline. Guarded by Rockman. Takes a screen from Hartman. Hartman falls down, gets back up. Farrell still has it. Crosses back up, Anunoby. Bielfeldt in the corner, takes a 3 with Ricky Doyle in his face, and he buries that one against his old teammate.
I remember Max Bielfeldt of Michigan. This is something he was underrated, a spot 3-point shooter. Not a bad shot, not a bad 3-point shooter for a big man, and he drills one against his old team.
Irvin drives, kicks to Rockman in the corner. He shoots the 3. That one rims out, rebounded Anunoby. Indiana's pushing the tempo. Farrell drives, weaves across the court, kicks it to Anunoby. Pump fake, doesn't take it, gives it to Zeisloft. Another deep 3. That one's long, rebounded by Robinson.
A good look again by Zeisloft. That one didn't fall, but
a nice pass by Irvin. Ricky Doyle can't finish, but he gets his own tip in, and that one goes in.
And Ricky Doyle, I've watched him. He has had a lot of trouble sometimes finishing shots, the easy layups down low, but this time almost again that happened, but fortunate enough to get his own tip in and that to fall in.
The crowd is on his feet now Indiana, Yogi Ferrell turns it over. Robinson's dribbling down the court. He's trapped with a double team, dribbles back out of it. He's guarded by Yogi Ferrell. Gives it to Irvin, standing at the block M, defended by Hartman. Irvin calls for a play, gives it back to Robinson in the corner. Still guarded by Farrell. Tries to pass it in to Rockman, but he's fouled by Zeisloft on the pass. That brings us to the under 12-minute timeout. Michigan hanging on. They have 19 points to the Hoosiers, 14 points. What do you think of those last few possessions, Chef?
Well, I mean, I think Indiana finally, first off, hitting a couple threes and having Nick Zeisloft and then Max Bielfeld also getting some playing time on the court to a nice reception from Michigan fans. I think Michigan missed a couple of good looks, and that's kind of what it is always for Michigan. They go hot and cold from the three, and sometimes it's just can't seem to buy a shot. So I think Michigan looked to try and attack down low, trying to attack the rim where we saw Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman do that once. I think he needs to continue being aggressive, driving to the rim, and really just Duncan Robinson also becoming more active, showcasing some more of that other skills such as driving to the rim that we saw early in this game that he's displayed in the last few games this season.
Yeah, it seemed like Tom Crean really got to them in that timeout, closing the lead to 5 points. And it seems like Indiana is pushing the tempo nearly on every possession. I guess that's kind of their style of play, and it seems like it's gotten them back into this game.
Yeah, you don't average 85.2 points a game in this season without having some tempo. I mean, Indiana likes to play fast. I mean, they move quick up the court. They run around. They have very athletic players, and that is always what has defined a Tom Crean team. Indiana so far just getting good looks, got to hit the shots, but I think they're definitely, though, that athleticism is so far is causing Michigan to run around.
And at this time, both teams are in the huddle. Looks like Jim Harbaugh and his brother John Harbaugh are both in the audience in the Indiana section. I know that the Harbaughs are both brothers-in-laws of Indiana coach Tom Crean. It seems like they have a great relationship. Just got to love the mixing of college football and college basketball culture, Jeff, don't you?
Yeah, I agree. And also, though, I think while they want to here to support their brother-in-law, also I think a bigger event going on tomorrow is, of course, College Football National Signing Day. I think we know Michigan will be hosting its Signing of the Stars event, and I know John Harbaugh, amongst many celebrity names, will be in Ann Arbor. Maybe some are here tonight at this game that we don't know of, but it's nice to see some big names here at the Chrysler Arena.
Yeah, definitely. Signing day is a big day for Michigan football. But back to basketball. The players have now taken the court for the Wolverines. Ricky Doyle is still in the game, subbing in for the starting big man, Mark Donnell. Duncan Robinson sets it inbounded from the baseline. Gives it to Dawkins in the corner, guarded tightly by Anunoby, brings it to the top, and he hands it off to Derek Walton to initiate the offense. Gives it to Dawkins at the wing, back to Walton, screened by Ricky Doyle, looking for the roll. Passes to Dawkins, but it's picked off by Anunoby. Anunoby drives in a wide-open dunk, and it looks like the refs are calling a foul on Dawkins. Seems like a kind of ticky-tack foul, but that is crucial, leading to an and-one play for the Hoosiers.
That was just poor basketball overall by Michigan. Derek Walton, not a smart pass, not something you see very often from him, but just kind of a careless pass. And Anunoby, smart to see that in Dawkins. You just gotta pull up on that play and just let him have his dunk. You cannot do something careless like that and give him a free and one.
But Anunoby misses the and-one play, so the Hoosiers only get 2 points out of that exchange. Walton brings it back now. Hopefully Beeline's expecting smarter basketball from him. Dawkins now scans. Back to Walton at the top. Looking to pass inside. Sees nothing. Holds on to it. Gives it to Rockman on the corner. Rockman dribble drive against Zeisloft. Trapped. Kicks it back out to Dawkins. Dawkins shoots a three. No good. Rebounded by Ricky Doyle, and he's fouled. He's going to go to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
Tom Crean giving an earful of the ref. I actually do not kind of understand. I mean, Hom definitely looked like he traveled, but refs didn't pick that up. Now Ricky Doyle going to the line, which is not exactly his favorite place to go shoot the basketball.
And Ricky Doyle's not the best free throw shooter, so maybe Tom Crean will get what he wants out of this. And some subs for the Wolverines as Ricky Doyle hits the first. Moritz Wagner, the freshman from Berlin, Germany, set to get his first minutes in the game. And Zach Irvin also returns to the game as well. And Ricky Doyle hits both free throws, and he's subbed out by Wagner and gets a high five from John Beeline.
Oh, wow, that's not something you see very often. Ricky Doyle making both free throws, but that was nice to see from Ricky Doyle.
Interesting to see this. Colin Hartman's actually bringing it up for the Wolverines now. Drives against Dawkins, nothing there. Looks to pass it out. Back to Bielefeld, who's guarded by Wagner at the perimeter. Gives it back to Hartman in the corner. Hartman drives left, kicks it to Anunoby. Anunoby scanning, dribbling against Walton, and looks like there's a foul called on Wagner. Wagner, the only true freshman on this team.
But John Beeline not happy with him, and as you can see, he quickly puts in Mark Donnell. Wagner, great talent, I think a lot of potential, but prone to some bad mental mistakes, and we saw it right there.
And Thomas Bryant subs in for the Hoosiers. Indiana's superstar freshman back in the game. He was sitting on the bench for quite a bit of time. He's not in foul trouble. Indiana inbounds baseline. Zyslav looks, gives it to Farrell in the corner, guarded by Dawkins. Quick move. Zyslav shoots a mid-range jumper. That one falls.
Great shot. Great job creating his own shot. That was a nice play by Zyslav.
And Derek Walton now has it, gives it to Donnell at the high post. Back to Robinson outside, guarded by Hartman. Pass across to Dawkins, corner, Irvin. Irvin takes a screen from Donnell. And he drives left against and kicks it out, and that's intercepted by Yogi Farrell. Farrell looking to push the tempo. Pass to number 13, that's Morgan, seeing his first action of the game. And Beeline will call a timeout. Not happy with what he saw in those last few minutes.
Zach Irvin, a little careless, driving down the baseline, looking to try and dish out because he was basically about to get pushed out of bounds. Nowhere to go. Not a good pass. Indiana good in transition. Michigan slow to get back on transition D. And Indiana with another quick layup. And you're seeing the tempo of Indiana moving fast up and down the court. And it showed right there, getting an easy layup.
Yeah, Michigan's lead slightly diminishing even more. Wolverines only lead the Hoosiers 21-20. Indiana's made the last 3 of its field goal attempts, and Michigan's gone cold of measly 1 for 6 from the last field goals.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan at one point led 15-4. So Indiana going a nice little 16-6 run. See if Michigan can try and calm down, try and get something going offensively.
And for Indiana, the man who just scored that last bucket was Jawan Morgan, seeing his first action in the game. A freshman from Waynesville, Missouri. Let's see if the Wolverines have an answer. As Zach Irvin's bringing it up for the Wolverines, defended by Morgan, who I just mentioned. Gives it to Dawkins in the corner. Dawkins dribbles across to the right, looking to pass to someone, no one there. Walton finally gets it in his hands. It's guarded by Johnson, who's just back in the lineup. Duncan Robinson, a contested 3. That one falls. Colin Hartman's hand was right in his face, and he buried it.
That was a great shot by Duncan Robinson, and a very contested 3. So it was nice to see Duncan Robinson finally hit a 3. Hopefully, maybe that starts, he could get into a rhythm now.
Hartman has it in the corner, kicks it to Zyslav. Zyslav pump fakes, gives it down low to Bryant. Bryant, quick spin move, reverse layup, and that was good. Such a smooth move by the freshman.
I know, and he's a freshman, like you said. He has been extremely impressive this year, and he showed it right there. A great move to the basket.
See if the Wolverines have an answer. Dawkins drives on the much smaller Zyslav. Great D, and that one's no good. Indiana has it now, going the other way. Johnson tries to penetrate, kicks it to Morgan. Morgan down low again to Bryant. Let's see if he has another move. Nope, kicks it back to Johnson. Johnson called for a travel.
Yep, and another costly turnover. Really just an inexcusable travel That's kind of been Indiana's problem, just these bad turnovers. And another one right there when they potentially could have had continued its momentum and maybe tied to taking the lead.
See if the Wolverines can capitalize on the mistake. Walton dribbling against Johnson. Hands off to Zach Irvin. Screened by Donnell. Tough pass inside to Donnell, and Donnell bobbles it. And there we go. Indiana off in transition again. Robert Johnson kicks to Morgan. Morgan to Hartman in the corner. Hartman doesn't see anything. Tries to drive against Robinson. Quick spin move. That one is good. Lefty. Finished by Colin Hartman.
That was an impressive move by Colin Hartman. And as I said earlier, Colin Hartman no more as a spot three-point shooter, but driving to the rim on Duncan Robinson. That was something you just do not see very often. He did a great job executing that.
And Indiana is now 5 of 5 on the last field goals, and they have tied the game at 24 apiece. Duncan Robinson pump fake against Hartman. Hartman is called for the blocking foul.
A lot of contact on that play. Duncan Robinson driving to the rim, being aggressive. I like seeing that from him. I think it just adds another skill to his ever-expanding repertoire. That is an extremely potent offensive game. Nice to see that from him.
And that brings us to the under 8-minute timeout. The score is 24-24, and looks like John Beeline's given his team some words of encouragement. What do you think Beeline's talking about in the huddle right now?
Well, I think you have to look. I mean, Michigan, like it has in many games, it started off strong, hitting buckets, being quick in transition, but after the Indiana timeout, Indiana's really sort of found its rhythm, starting to get moving, getting its transition offense going, moving quick, or utilizing its strong athleticism to generate open looks. On the other side, Michigan, it just seems not to be finding its rhythm on offense, not finding the flow. It's not hitting its shots, and it's had some bad turnovers. So I think Michigan needs to start playing smarter basketball, taking care of the ball, and generating good looks and high percentage shots, so it can start rebuilding back its lead that it generated in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and in that last series, we saw a nice spin move by the freshman Thomas Bryant. And this is a kid who's averaging he is going 72.8% from field goal. That's the highest field goal percentage by any freshman in the last 20 years. So you'd think that such a spectacular kid like Bryant, and given Michigan's lack of strength down low, you think Crean would try to go down low a bit more.
Yeah, you think he would, but I mean, I think Indiana does not really like to run a kind of a slower tempo, grinding out game where it utilizes its bigs for points. I mean, it likes to play fast with its guards. Of course, when you have a great talent like Yogi Ferrell and a couple of great guards like Robert Johnson, Colin Hartman, Nick Zeisloth, and a very athletic four, and Troy Williams, you want to run around, utilize that athleticism. But I understand Thomas Bryant, though, you want to give him the ball and let him go to work. I mean, every time he's had the ball in his hand, he's done something impressive. So I think Indiana could go down to him more, but if you got someone like Yogi Ferrell, I can understand why you give him the ball and let him do his thing.
And the players are now walking back onto the court. It's like Indiana has their 5 starters out on the floor with the exception of OG Anunoby in the place of Colin Hartman. Michigan has its 5 starters back on the floor. Score is 24-24. And with 7:19 left to go in the first half, it'll be Michigan's ball following the blocking foul. Duncan Robinson inbounded on the right baseline. Quick pass to Zach Irvin at the 3-point line. Drives against Anunoby, pump fake, and that's rejected by a host of Hoosiers. And the Hoosiers bench is going crazy right there.
Yeah, Zach Irvin, I mean, I'm not sure that was going to end well for him. I mean, he stopped right in his tracks, and Anunoby not fooled by that and swats the ball out of bounds with authority.
And looks like there's some confusion on the court. Looks like the ref is looking at something on his hand. So we're waiting for play to continue.
I also want to add Zach Irvin shooting just 1 of 4 from the field, only 3 points. Michigan needs to get him going.
Zach Irvin, who you just mentioned, inbounds it quickly to Rockman in the left corner. Back to Walton, dribbling at the top of the three-point line. Hands off to Duncan Robinson. Gives it to Mark Donnell. Swing quickly to Zach Irvin. Driving on Anunoby. Great defense. Robinson comes wide open three. That one just rims out. Rebounded by Thomas Bryant.
Great look, great shot. The ball just did not go in for that time for Duncan Robinson.
And Troy Williams drives baseline, kicks it out to OG Anunoby. High pass, but corralled. And gives it back to Robert Johnson, who's directing the offense, guarded by Rockman. Drives left on the screen from Bryant. Takes the hedge from Donnell. Bryant kicks it to corner. Troy Williams, and he loses it out of bounds.
Yeah, that's just something that it's got to be extremely frustrating for Tom Crean and Troy Williams. I think that's the second turnover for such a talented player. I mean, he has been prone to some turnover issues. 2.8 turnovers per game for Troy Williams this season. Something that Tom Crean does not want to see out of such a talented player.
And Michigan right now trying to generate some offense. They haven't scored in the last 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Irvin, a deep three, hits the front of the iron, rebounded by Robert Johnson. He's pushing the ball, finds Troy Williams cutting across, and looks like they're going to slow the tempo down. Back to Robert Johnson at the top of the key, defended by Walton. Scans the court, directing the offense. Still dribbling, guarded by Walton. Finally drives left and finishes a strong contested layup by Robert Johnson. And Indiana now has the lead, 26-24. Michigan now trying to answer. Zach Irvin passes to Mark Donnell at the top. Swings it to Duncan Robinson, who has it in the corner now. Dribbles out, passes to Rockman. It's guarded by Farrell. Screen to the left from Donnell. And great defense by Indiana to recover. Irvin, quick pump fake. Mid-range jumper, no good. And rebounded by Troy Williams. Decides to bring it back out. Looks to give it to point guard. Gives it back to Robert Johnson, who's now directing the offense again. Gives it to Yogi Farrell. Takes a screen from Bryant. Hands off to Anunoby. Anunoby pass to Troy Williams. Troy Williams neglects the screen from Farrell. Shot clock down to 5. Williams drives middle. No good, but he's fouled by Mark Donnell. Michigan's defense great on that possession, but bailed out by a late foul on the shot clock.
Troy Williams not exactly sure what he was doing. He's just kind of wandering around the top of the key, but Michigan gave him an opening. He utilized that, gets the foul. Indiana kind of slowed down the tempo on that possession. Just of note, not something you've seen Indiana do really at all this game.
And Beilein, not a happy look on his face after that foul from his big man.
Well, I think you can't also be happy with Michigan's offense. I mean, they are 0 for the last 5, 2 for the last 12. They have not scored now in over 4 minutes. Michigan needs to try to get its offense going.
And Williams misses the second free throw, so now the lead is 27-24 the Hoosiers. And let's see if Michigan can answer here. Hoosiers have been on a 7-0 run in the last nearly 4 minutes, and that's not what you want to see if you're Michigan. A charging foul called on Robinson, and the six-man club is not agreeing with the ref there.
Yeah, I mean, Duncan Robinson, look, he just got tangled, did not, and just an unfortunate foul. Michigan just kind of shooting itself in the foot now offensively with turnovers, and not being able to seem biased, just hit any shot.
And looks like Beilein just sent in Aubrey Dawkins to get the frustrated Duncan Robinson, gave him some words of encouragement as he sat down on the bench. Indiana now trying to generate some offense. A deep three early in the shot clock by Troy Williams. That one's no good. I'm not sure what that was about.
Yeah, not a wise shot. I mean, generally I'm not a fan of taking threes so early in possession.
Ooh. And a wide open three attempt by Dawkins. That one barely rims out. And Indiana's pushing. Oh, and Yogi Farrell's left wide open for a three. You can't do that if you're Michigan.
Yeah, I don't know what Michigan was doing right there. It looked either Derek Walton or Hom missed his assignment, and you just cannot leave an All-American caliber player like Yogi Farrell open to take that type of shot.
After the three-pointer, Indiana now extends its lead to 30-24, and they're now on a 10-0 run in the last 4 minutes. Derek Walton directing the offense. Shot clock down to 8. Takes a high ball screen from Donnell. Quick move against Bielfeldt. Looks like he got bumped there. No call, and turns it over. And Indiana is now in transition. Farrell finds it open. Bielfeldt, who takes a 3. That one's no good. Put back by Williams. And Indiana's just extending its run even more. And Beeline, unhappy with the results, calls a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan cannot, it's just kind of falling apart the last couple minutes. John Beeline cannot be happy with the way his offense is playing, cannot be happy with the way his defense is getting back in transition. Michigan just got all out of sorts. Indiana just showing the last few minutes that they are a superior team. Right now, I mean, Michigan, John Beeline needs to tell them to settle down. I mean, Indiana has dominated this game, 16-3 run. Michigan has not scored now for 5 minutes, over 5 minutes and 30 seconds. They need to get something going. They need Zach Irvin and Derek Walton, who have been relatively quiet so far, to really step up their game. Irvin shooting just 1 of 6. And now Duncan Robinson, who has 2 personal fouls, is probably on the bench for the rest of this first half. So Michigan losing a potent 3-point shooter, that's going to put extra pressure on Aubrey Dawkins and Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman to try and generate some offense, because Michigan has had a lot of trouble doing that so far.
And Indiana just currently riding a 12-0 run against Michigan in the last 5 minutes now. That's why you see, that's some evidence of why Indiana is one of the most explosive offenses in the country. And if you're John Beeline, you can't be happy with how Michigan's been performing. And really, Indiana's been spreading it pretty evenly. The leading scorer for the Hoosiers is Yogi Ferrell with only 7 points. So Indiana's really been dominating this last run of the game as a team. And yeah, like you said, Jeff, looks like Zach Irvin has been going cold, 1 for 6, and Michigan's really going to have to get him going, as he's really been kind of the core of the Michigan offense ever since Karis LeVert went down.
Yeah, I agree. Zach Irvin, along with Derek Walton, have been the leaders of this team. The offense always runs through them. They are the creators. They are the go-to guys when you need a clutch shot. And right now, neither of them are having some trouble getting anything going. I think Indiana's athleticism right now on the defensive side is keeping them contained and forcing guys like Aubrey Dawkins to try and step up. And Dawkins shooting just 1 of 5 and 0 of 3 from 3-point range. So Michigan, 9-26 as a team, needs to try and get something going.
And another stat to look at, Indiana has 20 points in the paint, Michigan's 8. You know, that's, if you're John Beeline, that's something you got to be looking at, and you got to be saying something to these guys in the huddle right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunately been the problem that's plagued Michigan this entire season, is allowing a lot of easy points down low. Part of that is just bad perimeter defense, not helping out the Michigan's big men, and also just the big men just not being none of Michigan's big men being a strong defensive presence down low.
Michigan now has in the offense. We'll see if John Beeline's words in the huddle affect how they play here. Outlet to Zach Irvin. Irvin driving against Anunoby. Pump fake, nothing there. Kicks it to Donnell. Donnell at the high post, defended by his old teammate. Bielfeldt kicks it to Walton. Walton now dribbling it out with 8 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Donnell with the high ball screen. Walton dribbling against Bielfeldt. He gets knocked down, but no foul called, and Indiana's running in transition. Farrell's driving across, finds the baseline cutter, and Troy Williams, and he finishes with an easy layup.
Michigan fans not happy with the foul call. It was a lot of contact. I'm not sure about that, but Michigan, again, bad transition D, and another open bucket for Troy Williams.
Yeah, just great execution by Indiana on that. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman guarded by Zeisloft. Weaves to the middle. Tough contested jumper. I'm not sure if that's the shot they're looking for.
And Michigan is just looking all out of sorts. Indiana is just dominating this game, and there's an exclamation.
And just as you're saying that, Indiana connects on an alley-oop to Troy Williams, and the lead is 36-24. Things not looking good for the Wolverines.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Michigan, it's just the last 6 minutes, the last 6 minutes have not been pretty at all. Still have not been able to score, and its defense has fallen apart. somebody on this Wolverine side needs to step up to try and control this.
Indiana now extends its lead to 36-24, the largest lead of the game. Derek Walton pick and roll to Donnell down low, and it's a blocking foul on looks like number 30. That's Colin Hartman. It looks like the refs finally bailed him out there.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Michigan will take that, anything at this point, to try and slow down Indiana's momentum and try and get some momentum back on their side. And I think they will easily take these two free throws.
Yeah, and this if Donnell connects on this free throw, this would be ending a 16-0 run by Indiana. And he doesn't, and it was 1-1. The rebound by Indiana, and the scoring drought continues for Michigan. Colin Hartman passes up a three, gives it to Bielfeldt. Bielfeldt passes that up, drives baseline, and kicks it to Hartman. He shoots that three, and that one falls. Indiana now extending the lead to 15.
Indiana has just been absolutely dominant on offense after starting 1 of 7 from the field. They are now 17 of 28, shooting 60% from the floor.
Zach Irvin drives, and that one's no good. And Michigan's just really been struggling all fronts. Indiana now has it. Yogi Ferrell dribbles across the key, kicks it to Zeisloft. Hartman in the corner, pump fake, drives, kicks it to Ferrell. Ferrell takes the three. That one falls. Another three by the superstar point guard from Indianapolis.
Indiana is, get out your umbrellas because Indiana is making it rain right now.
Zach Irvin to Walton. Walton asks for a screen from Janelle, takes it, kicks it corner to Dawkins. Dawkins shoots a three with the hand in his face, and that's an air ball. Seemed like things couldn't get worse for Michigan, and it just did. Zeisloft now a quick three. That one good. And it is really raining here in the Chrysler Center. Indiana now leading by 21 points.
Still raining. Still raining.
Rockman to Walton. Walton in the corner, guarded by Farrell. Jab step. No, drives left. Nothing there. Drives against Morgan now. Morgan now switched on to Walton. Walton, a quick crossover. Gets into the paint. Layup no good. Rebounded by Bielfeldt. And the Hoosiers are in transition again. Farrell takes a screen, kicks it to Bielfeldt. Bielfeldt shoots a three. That one no good. Finally a miss from beyond the arc for the Hoosiers. Zach Irvin now bringing it up. Tries to slow it down. 10 seconds left in the first half. Michigan looks like they're trying to get the last shot here. Game clock down to 5. Screen from Janelle. Irvin drives all the way. Blocked by Bielfeldt. And that's kind of how the game's been going for the Wolverines. That brings us to the end of the first half. Any final thoughts, Jeff?
Well, I think this stat says it all. Indiana, a 29-3 run over the last 10 minutes of this first half. Indiana was on absolute run over this last 10 minutes. Michigan, when it was just nowhere to be found offensively, on the offensive and defensive side. After a hot start, they have shot 2 of 19 since that hot start. Michigan has seemingly just had no answer at all for Indiana on either side of the court. Michigan needs to find some answers at halftime. They are just not looking good at all. John Beilein has a lot of work to do. Indiana, you have to feel great after a slow start on the floor. Now going into halftime with a commanding 21-point lead.
Yeah, and you weren't lying when we said Indiana's most explosive offense in possibly the country, and we're seeing a lot of that there. Indiana ending the half, on a 25-0 run. We'll see if Beilein has any answers, but for now, for halftime, this is Will Yang, Jeff Chan. We're signing out, and we'll see you at the start of the second half.
Basketball tonight is Jared, and he wants to go to New Jersey.
Welcome back to Ann Arbor Chrysler Arena on this Tuesday night. Michigan playing against Indiana, currently down 45-24. The first story of this first half, all Indiana. Oh, by the way, I'm Jeff Chen, and this is Will Yang. And again, as I was saying, Indiana dominating this first half. I mean, just especially in the last 10 minutes, going on a 25-0 run over the last 8 minutes and 40 seconds to take this commanding lead. Michigan could not seem to find an answer. Will, what were your key takeaways from this first half?
I got to be honest with you, Jeff. This might be the worst I've ever seen Michigan basketball play. They've just, Indiana, with their high-tempo, high-octane offense, has just really overwhelmed Michigan's defense. They got the shots they want, and they made them, and they killed Michigan in transition. Michigan wants to get back in this game. They have to get back to their offense. Their key guys have to start making shots. Zach Irvin is 1 for 8 right now, and Michigan really needs him to play big because the offense really goes through him. Derek Walton is 2 for 6 for field goal shooting. He's only 5 points. He's another guy that they have to get scoring. I want to see a lot more movement, moving the ball around, more screens, and just more float in the Michigan offense to get better shots. Right now, too many guys are trying to do it themselves in isolation, and things aren't going. Indiana's defense is too good. And on defense, they just have to play more sound defense. They can't let Indiana shooters get open shots, and they need to help. And Indiana's high speed makes that really difficult, but I think Michigan has the talent in them to turn this game around.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot for Michigan, down 21 points to the Hoosiers. Michigan's going to have to start really making some shots. I mean, they didn't make a single shot in the last, 8 minutes of this first half. I don't know, it's the players, the starting lineup for Michigan, really just the entire Michigan team is going to have to dig deep and really play with some heart the second half. I mean, it definitely just seemed like they were just outclassed in that first half. And let's see if John Beilein has made any adjustments. We're about to start the second half now. Indiana players coming onto the court. Looks like their official starting lineup: Yogi Ferrell, Robert Johnson, Colin Hartman, Troy Williams, and Thomas Bryant. Michigan will likely still see the same first half lineup of Derek Walton, Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman, Duncan Robinson, Zach Irvin, and Mark Donnell. Though I will say, if John Beilein wants to try to make a switch, make a change, now would be the time, because Michigan will need all the help it could get if it wants to make any sort of comeback in this game.
Yeah, Tom Crean, a lot of people thought he was overrated. They thought he actually should have been fired earlier, but I always saw him as a great offensive coach, and that's been showing in the first half. Just Indiana's speed, all their players, their athleticism. But Michigan's an athletic team too, and I thought going into this, they match up very well with Indiana, and we'll see how that goes as we kick off the second half.
Zach Irvin inbounds the ball. No. Dribbles around at the top of the key, gives it to Derek Walton. Walton looking for an opening. Walton with the pull-up jumper and in and out.
And that's Walton's shot. He's a great shooting point guard, just didn't fall that time.
Indiana with a turnover here, but Colin Hartman looked like a travel, and not the way Indiana wanted to start this half, was with another turnover.
Yeah, Indiana loves to move fast. They're one of the best teams in moving the ball up the court, and they kind of moved it a bit too fast, out of control there.
All right, Donnell with the ball at the top. Now hands it off to Walton, gives it to Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. Driving, and a great move to the rim, and is fouled. Cannot see the number there, but Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman will go to the line. That foul was on number 5, Troy Williams. And now Troy Williams with his third foul. Maybe something to keep an eye on now. But Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman going to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, Troy Williams, a key guy to the Indiana rotation. Him being in early foul trouble could prove crucial later on. And that's really what I want. If you're John Beilein, that's what you want to see out of your starting shooting guard, is attacking the rim. And it proved good results, got a foul from Indiana. And that's something Rahman has been really good at lately, especially attacking a lot more. Last game in Penn State, but he misses both free throws, and that's not something you want to see.
Michigan now scoring drive continues. Muhammad Ali missing both free throws. Not something you see very often from them, but regardless, Michigan, once again, having trouble putting the ball through the basket. Now it's Indiana with the ball. Troy Williams with the ball at the top of the key. Gives it to Yogi Ferrell, guarded by Derek Walton. Gives it back to Anunoby, and he drills the three. Indiana picking back up right where they left off. Hitting the three ball from down deep.
Yeah, and Anunoby is not really a three-point shooter on this team. He's one of the rare players on this Indiana squad that doesn't shoot it well. So that's why Robinson didn't close out as hard. But if he's hitting threes, then you're in a really bad place.
And Michigan finally with the basket and with a loud cheer from the Ann Arbor crowd. Maybe a little bit of sarcasm in that one. But regardless, they are finally back on the board. And a foul on Thomas Bryant. Foul on Thomas Bryant on Mark Donnell. Looks like just a bad reach-in foul.
That's a great sign to see again if you're John Beilein. Mark Donnell, very fundamental box out, had Bryant all the way behind him, and Bryant had to foul him. Something good from the big men there.
Derek Walton taking the ball up the court, gives it to Duncan Robinson. Back to Donnell at the top of the key to Irvin. Irvin driving, dishes it back out to Derek Walton. Walton dribbling at the top of the key. Shot clock now at 10. Derek Walton dishes it to Donnell. And a foul, it looks like. Another foul on Thomas Bryant. That will be 2 fouls now in the last minute. Not a good minute for Thomas Bryant. Looks like we have a substitution on the court. It looks like Troy Williams is coming out, and in will be Nick Zeisloft. Inbound to Duncan Robinson, gives it back to Donnell, back to Robinson. Robinson drives, and a beautiful move. Duncan Robinson with a nice left-handed layup.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson has really been expanding his game in these past few games. Started out, like Jeff said, in the first half as more of a pure shooter, but really has been driving to the rim a lot better lately. Kind of reminds me of Nick Stauskas' development.
I agree. Nick Stauskas, a lot of comparisons to him. We'll see how the Duncan Robinson can live up to that. Anunoby with a three. That is no good. Rebounded by Derek Walton. Walton pushing up the court, gives it to Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman, but Muhammad Ali drives and is blocked emphatically by Thomas Bryant. Indiana recovers. Pushing the tempo. Robert Johnson with a three. No good. Rebounded by Ham. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman dribbling up the court. Now slows it down. And an offensive foul on Zach Irvin. Looked like a moving screen of some sort. Not something you want to see out of your leader on the court, but regardless, Indiana ball.
Yeah, that was just a stupid foul on Zach Irvin's foul. He had the position. He had his feet in the right place. He just decided to extend his elbow. Clear foul by Zach Irvin. Not what you want if you're John Beilein.
Oh, yeah, not something, just really a bad play overall, and especially coming from really your best player on the court. Yogi Ferrell drives, gives it out to Zeisloft, and no good. Rebounded by Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. Dribbles it up the court. Pass to Derek Walton at the top of the key. Walton with the jumper, and no good. Rebounded by Thomas Bryant. Robert Johnson dribbling it up the court. Dribbles in, dishes out to Yogi Ferrell. Yogi Ferrell with the ball at the top of the key. Passes down low to Thomas Bryant, posting up on Mark Donnell, and a good move. Foul on Mark Donnell. And Thomas Bryant will go to the line and shoot two. Thomas Bryant, 6'10", true freshman, has been a nearly unstoppable force for Indiana when he's gotten the ball in this game. Hasn't been much, but when he's gotten it, he's done good with it.
Yeah, that was just another great spin move against Mark Donnell, and there's nothing Donnell could do but foul him there.
Bryant makes the first free throw, and coming into the game now for Indiana is number 13, Juwan Morgan, and he will replace Anunoby. Bryant misses the second free throw, rebounded by Duncan Robinson, gives it to Zach Irvin, who's dribbling up the court. Gives it to Walton now, calling the play. Walton gives it to Duncan Robinson now, who's dribbling to his left, passes it to Zach Irvin. Irvin holding on the ball, gives it to Duncan Robinson, back to Irvin. Irvin with a jump shot, and it's good.
It's a great sign to see for Michigan. Zach Irvin finally has got a shot to fall. It's a mid-range jumper. That's really Irvin's game.
And Yogi Farrell responds with a beautiful reverse layup, driving right by Zach Irvin. And this is the Yogi Farrell that we have all come to expect from.
Yeah, just a great play by Farrell. That's why he's the best point guard in the nation against the bigger Zach Irvin. Great defense, but just way better offense.
Zach Irvin driving to the rim and gets his own rebound and fouled. And will go to the line and shoot two. Zach Irvin drove to the rim missed the left-handed layup, gets his own rebound, and will now go to the free throw line. Timeout now on the floor. You have 15 minutes and 25 seconds left in this game. Indiana currently leads 51-30. So, Will, what have you seen so far in these first 5 minutes?
I really like what I see from Michigan. Their shots aren't falling, but they're playing with a lot more fire, and they're really in this game a lot more mentally, and I think they're really on the right track to make a run. The problem is Indiana is up 21 points, and might be a little too late if Michigan wants to make a run, but I think if they keep playing offense, keep attacking, they can trim this lead down. And I think if you're John Beilein, you're going to want to get this to about a 10-point margin by 10 minutes left. I think that's the plan right now, and I think that's really a good place for Michigan to go moving forward in the second half.
Yeah, I agree. Michigan needs to trim down its lead, and that starts with, first off, hitting good shots. I mean, they scored 6 points so far in the second half, which is at least it's some sort of improvement over the fact that they went scoreless for much of the second part of the first half. Michigan, though, still down 21 to Indiana. Zach Irvin and Derek Walton struggling from the floor, shooting combined 4 of 18 so far. Indiana shooting 21 of 37 from the floor. Michigan is going to need Indiana to not basically get cold from the field.
Yeah, Indiana started the second half 1 of the last 5 from the field, and similarly how they started off the first half, Indiana started off cold, and Michigan has to capitalize on this because we know how fast Indiana can heat up. We saw that in an extreme magnitude. Indiana was just explosive in the first half. So this slow start, Michigan has to capitalize on this. And we saw a little bit of Beilein's famous 1-3-1-7 for one possession, and Indiana got a good look but missed it. So I think we'll see a lot of Beilein trying to throw a lot of different things at Indiana to try to throw them off their rhythm, because we really saw a lot of the same types of looks from Beilein's defensive fronts, and Indiana kind of figured it out in the first half. So I think we'll see Beilein try to switch things up a little bit more in the second half.
Yeah, I agree. I think Beilein obviously runs predominantly a man defense. Michigan's man defense gave up 40. Did not look very good against Indiana. Maybe start seeing him utilize more 2-3 zone, maybe more 1-3-1, but just throwing any sort of look to try to throw Indiana off. Players now coming back onto the floor. It'll be Mark Donnell going to the free throw. My apologies. Zach Irvin going to the free throw line to shoot 2. That foul was on Thomas Bryant. That was his 3rd foul, and he's picked up 3 fouls already in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
And that's huge. Thomas Bryant is really the anchor to this Indiana offense. He's been really dominant on the floor, and to have him in early foul trouble, really, if you're Tom Crean, that's not really what you want. And Zach Irvin just missed the first free throw. And he missed the second one too. I like what I'm seeing attacking the rim, but Michigan's got to make their free throws.
The Michigan just shooting themselves in the foot, missing free throws, just in my opinion, always easy shot. Swinging the ball to Nick Zeisloft. My apologies. Zeisloft, and back to Bielfeldt to Robert Johnson at the top of the key. Dribbling 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Robert Johnson looks like he'll take this himself and drives to the rim and misses the layup. Rebound by Duncan Robinson, dribbling it up the court. Currently at the top of the key, gives it to Derek Walton. Now waiting patiently at the top of the key. Currently still dribbling at the top, gives it to Mark Donnell. Holding on to the ball, guarded by Max Bielfeldt, and a beautiful pass. Beautiful backdoor cut by Duncan Robinson. Beautiful pass by Mark Donnell for an emphatic dunk. And On the other end, Nick Zeisloff missed the quick three-pointer. It looks like a foul on Yogi Farrell. So it'll be, not sure what that was, but it'll be Michigan's ball now.
Yeah, and that was just a great cut by Duncan Robinson. It looked like the offense was stagnating a bit. Duncan Robinson, just a smart move, smart cut, and a great feed, and just a great finish, great execution all around.
Donnell with the ball at the top of the key, gives it to Zach Irvin. Zach Irvin trying to find a hole and gets blocked by Jawan Morgan, and Morgan was just basically blocked Zach Irvin into the ground. It looked like it's going to be Indiana ball, maybe that went off last touch by Michigan. So Indiana, great defensive possession, great individual possession by Jawan Morgan.
Yeah, that was a huge defensive stop. It looked like Michigan was starting to gain some momentum. And Jawan Morgan, one of the great athletes of this Indiana team, it's a nice defensive block there.
Robert Johnson with the ball. Michigan looks like in a 1-3-1 zone. And Robert Johnson just throws that ball out of bounds. He was looking to try to hit Anunoby in the corner, but just an errant pass, another Indiana turnover. Michigan will get the ball back. Michigan inbounding to Derek Wallen. Derek Wallen dribbling it up the court. Gives it to Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. Back to Walton. Rahman looking for somebody to pass it to. Dribbling at the top of the key. Gives it to Duncan Robinson. Robinson looking for a pass. Dribbling down baseline. And a bad pass, and it's stolen. And Robert Johnson with a beautiful move down low with an easy layup. Beautiful transition offense from Indiana.
Yeah, it's not what you want from Michigan. Very cold offensive possession and not getting back on deep.
And Zach Irvin with the three-pointer. Indiana now dribbling back up the court. Ball is in Anunoby's hands. Anunoby driving, and a great finish. A great play overall by Anunoby.
Yeah, that was great rotation by Donnell. He was a bit late. They didn't call a foul, and just a great finish above the rack by Anunoby.
Ali Abdur-Rahman with the ball at the top of the key. Picks up his dribble, looking to pass it. Passes to Donnell, back to Abdur-Rahman. Rahman drives, and misses the shot. And Yogi Farrell dribbling back up the court. Zeisloff in the corner, and three is no good. Rebounded by Anunoby, and puts it back for another layup. More rebounding for Michigan.
Yeah, that's just an example. Indiana's just winning the 50-50 balls. They just wanted it more, and 2 points for Indiana.
Muhammad Ali with the ball at the top of the key. Gives it to Derek Walton. Walton driving down on the baseline. Chases it back up. Mid-range jumper, no good. Rebounded by Max Bielfeldt. And Indiana back with the ball. Yogi Farrell dribbling up the sideline. Now back to the top of the key. Passes it to Zeisloff. Passes to Bielfeldt down the paint. He throws up a little hook shot, no good.
Yeah, Tom Crean was yelling at Indiana to push the tempo, and he looks like he thinks the Wolverines are getting tired here.
Wallen dishes out to Kama in the corner, no good. Rebounded by Bielfeldt. Dishes out to Yogi Farrell, who quickly moves back up the court, and it looks like we'll go all the way. Gets fouled, and we'll go to the free throw line and shoot two. Timeout on the floor. 11:24 left in this game. Indiana leading by 22, 57-35. The Hoosiers will. So 11-minute mark now. Michigan does not seem to cut into its lead. What does Michigan need to do to try and change this?
Well, just watching those last few positions, Michigan just looks gassed, and that's what Indiana will do to you. That's what happens when you bring the ball up at such a high speed every time. It puts the pressure on the defense to get set up more quickly, and it just wears into their stamina all the more than if you just bring it up at a normal tempo. And that really showed there. And Michigan's tiredness showed in their offense and their defense. Their offense just looked stagnant. No one was moving, and just resulted in a lot of isolation plays. And isolation plays that won't work against Indiana's more athletic front. I think Beilein notices that. He tried to put two subs in before the 12-minute timeout. So I think Beilein notices this. He's going to try to sub more guys in, keep them fresh. And I think Michigan just has to generate some more offense. That's what's been so great about them playing in the last few games is figuring out how to play team offense without Karis LeVert, moving the ball around, pick and roll, finding the roller, or hitting an open three-pointer. And that's just something we haven't really seen from Michigan. I think they're too tired maybe from Indiana's up-tempo. But if they want to win this game, they have to move the ball more and get those shots that they've been so great at getting in the last few games.
I agree. Michigan, defensively, has never been a great defensive team, but when you put up against a great offense like Indiana, who likes to use tempo, likes to move the ball down the court real quickly, a lot of passing, a lot of ball movement. I mean, it definitely has exposed Michigan's weakness on that side of the floor even more. Michigan offensively cannot seem to get anything going. I don't know if it means Beeline needs to consider putting in some new faces to just try and light a spark, or maybe if it's just not Michigan's side, I don't know. But regardless, Beeline needs to find an answer. I do not think Michigan wants to lose this badly on its home turf against the Hoosiers.
Yeah, Indiana is a team that can get hot quick, but so is Michigan. You know, I don't want to count them out at all. There's still a lot of ball to be played left tonight, and Michigan can get one spurt, one run to just put them in a realistic deficit that they can overcome. I think they definitely have a shot.
Both teams coming back on the floor now. Yogi Ferrell at the free throw line to shoot 2. Lineups on the floor: Derek Walton, Zach Irvin, Duncan Robinson, Aubrey Dawkins, and Ricky Doyle in for Michigan. Indiana: Max Bielfeld, Troy Williams, Yogi Ferrell, Colin Hartman, and Ryan Burton. Yogi Ferrell made the first free throw, second free throw good.
Yeah, Farrell is such a great free throw shooter, and Michigan, normally a good free throw shooting team, hasn't shot it well at all tonight. Only 38% from the line. That's if they want any chance in getting back in this game, they have to make their free throws.
I agree. Derek Walton now at the top of the key, gives it to Zach Irvin. Irvin looking around, back to Walton near the sideline. Walton takes it back to the top of the key, looking for somewhere to go. Gives it to Irvin, dishes it down low, and a great pass to Ricky Doyle. Easy layup.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Michigan needs to move the ball around. A lot more passes that possession, and they result in an easy 2 points.
And Colin Hardman with a great pass to Troy Williams, who makes the layup, but it looks like there was a foul beforehand on Michigan. It looks like the basket will not count. I believe the foul was on Ricky Doyle, and Indiana will take the ball from inbounds.
Yeah, that was really Tom Crean's bread and butter play there. Someone drives to the key, and then a baseline cutter's open 9 out of 10 times.
Inbounded to Yogi Ferrell. Back to Colin Hartman, guarded by Derek Walton. Down low to Bielfeld, guarded by Ricky Doyle. Bielfeld trying to move, and looks like it was swatted by Derek Walton, but last touch by Max Bielfeld. Oh, looks like some confusion on the referees, and initially signaled Michigan's ball, but now says it's Indiana's ball. In that case, it will be last touch by Derek Walton on that play.
Nevertheless, it was a smart defensive play by Walton. Years of experience playing 2 years with Bielfeld.
Yogi Ferrell dishes down low. Thomas Bryant back to Troy Williams, and another easy layup. Great ball movement by Indiana on that play.
Yeah, Tom Crean, it's fast full court offense, but also a fast half court offense. A lot of cutters, and you can't fall asleep like Aubrey Dawkins just did on that possession.
Duncan Robinson, open look down the corner, does not go. Duncan Robinson not having a lot of success shooting three-pointers tonight. Yogi Ferrell with a three, and he hits that one. Indiana continued with its hot shooting from the floor.
And that's what happens when you bring it up as fast as Indiana does. Michigan's defense slow to get set up, not really in the right place, and just that sliver of space gives Yogi Ferrell enough to bury that three.
Derek Walton with a nifty move, driving past Yogi Ferrell and Thomas Bryant for another easy layup. Timeout on the floor, 9:47 left to play. Indiana has extended, currently with still a big lead, leading 64-39. Michigan still having trouble closing the gap. What have you seen so far from Michigan?
Well, actually, I think John Beilein called that timeout after the Derek Walton layup. I think maybe it was a strategic timeout. Maybe he saw something on the court. But I think Michigan, they've just had too many lapses on defense. They've fallen asleep at the wheel too many times. And you can't do that against such a fast offense like Indiana. If you blink, a cutter will blow by you, and there's just easy buckets all around for Indiana. Michigan has to be tighter on defense to stay in this game. I think offensively, they're getting their shots. I think the ball has been being moved a bit more. Derek Walton has been getting good looks all game. He just hasn't really finished. He normally hits that mid-range jumper 9 times out of 10, and he hasn't really been feeling his jumper. But that was a nice drive on the last possession for an easy layup, and I think Derek Walton's starting to feel his mojo more, and that's going to be key if Michigan wants to make a run here.
Well, Michigan is going to need to see that. Derek Walton driving to the rim, being more aggressive. He's a great three-point shooter. He's a great spot shooter. But as the point guard, Michigan, I think, and John Beilein would love to see him be more aggressive, attacking the rim and for layups. Now, Michigan has currently just not been shooting well, 16 of 48. That's 33%. Three-point shooting has been non-existent, 4 of 18, which is something you generally don't want to see from Michigan that a lot of times lives and dies by the three. So what do you think, Michigan, if the three-point shot is not there, what do you think Michigan needs to start doing in order to get some points if the three-point shot is not falling?
Yeah, you're right. Michigan has been doing a good job of finding open three-point shots, but like you said, Jeff, they're not hitting them, and they're sort of, this saying is live or die by the three, and right now Michigan is dying from the three. And I think an alternative to this is I want to see Zach Irvin in a lot more pick-and-roll situations. We saw a nice execution after the under 12-minute timeout where he found a wide-open rolling Doyle. So I want to see Beilein take more advantage of Zach Irvin's passing ability and sort of put Indiana in tricky defensive positions to get easy points.
Both teams now coming back on the floor. Michigan, after that timeout, now has one timeout left, so John Beilein's got to be careful with how he uses that now. So here we go. Colin Hartman inbounds it to Yogi Ferrell, who takes it up the court. Michigan in a 1-3-1 zone. Ferrell to Hartman. Hartman dribbles. Back to Ferrell at the top. Ferrell looking for a screen from Thomas Bryant. Yogi Ferrell dribbling down. Looking for an opening to Hartman, and he's blocked, but recovered. And it's error pass intercepted by Walton, who now pushes it to Duncan Robinson. Pass to Duncan Robinson in the corner. Robinson dribbling. Takes it now back towards the top. Back to Walton. Got the key. Picks up his dribble. Looking for someone to pass it to. Is it to Ricky Doyle on the free throw line. And almost stolen by Troy Williams. And it looks like a foul on that play. Looks like a foul on Troy Williams, I believe.
Yeah, that was a great defensive possession on Michigan. So far, they've created 2 turnovers off of that 1-3-1 zone, and it really spreads Indiana's offense out, something they don't want. Tom Crean loves to operate close to the basket, hugging the three-point line, but the 1-3-1 zone really stretched them out and forced them to make uncomfortable passes. But on the offensive end, just really stagnant, not smart basketball. Ricky Doyle nearly turned it over on a lazy pass, and Michigan had to get bailed out by a silly foul call on Indiana.
And Troy Williams, that is his 4th foul. He has to come out of the game, something to keep an eye on. On the other end, coming in, Andrew Dockage now coming in for Michigan, along with Mark Donnell. Aubrey Dawkins now with the ball, dribbling, pull-up 3, and he hits it. Great three-pointer by Aubrey Dawkins.
Yeah, great spark off the bench. I think that's why Beilein put him in. And interesting to see Dawkins here playing at the bottom of the 1-3-1 zone.
Yes, Michigan continuing with the 1-3-1 zone. Yogi Ferrell Well, and it looks like a foul on Mark Donnell. Not exactly sure what that was on that play, but regardless, Indiana will now inbound the ball. That is Mark Donnell's second foul. And inbounded to Yogi Farrell, who quickly splits the double team. Gives it to Max Bielfeld, who drives, and a emphatic block by Mark Donnell. Get past the Duncan Robinson, who is stripped by Yogi Farrell. Indiana recovers. Yogi Farrell takes it back. Long pass to Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson driving, and is blocked by Mark Donnell. So several blocks on that flurry little 30-second window of basketball right there.
Yeah, Mark Donnell playing big down low, and that's what you want, especially against these Hoosiers who love to attack the rim.
Inbounded ball to Yogi Farrell, guarded by Andrew Dockich. A little bit of a mismatch right there. Yogi Farrell drives, dishes it out to Robert Johnson for the three and hits it.
Yeah, that was just, Michigan was just put in a tough situation. Farrell was driving, Dawkins had to help, and he left a wide open shooter in the corner, Johnson, who has been shooting it really well this year. He's ninth in the Big Ten in three-point percentage.
And Duncan Robinson now gives it back to Zach Irvin at the top of the key. Irvin dribbling, guarded by Robert Johnson. Irvin passes to Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson looking for some window. Passes it to Andrew Dockich, who drives and promptly throws it. Gives it to Max Bielfeld. Bielfeld dribbling. Dishes it out. Get down to Yogi Farrell, who takes the three. No good. And it's tipped back out. Rebounded by Zeisloff. No three by Robert Johnson. No good. Rebounded by Dawkins. No, never mind. He tipped it out of bounds. It'll be Indiana's ball. And timeout on the court. Indiana now leading 67-42. Still keeping its 25-point lead over the Wolverines. With 7:16 left to go in the game. So Michigan, it's not done much to dent its lead, to make a dent in Indiana's lead. A lot of fans look like they're leaving. Now, would you say you expected this type of strong performance from Indiana tonight, given that its last couple of Big Ten games, it has struggled against some rather mediocre teams? Did you expect this from Indiana, or do you think Michigan just not their night?
I got to be honest with you. I knew this was going to be a close game. I knew Indiana's offense would come out firing on all cylinders like they do a lot of the times. But Michigan they haven't been themselves. They haven't been the team that we saw in their last four games being on a four-game win streak. That's not the same Michigan team. They just had too many mental errors. Even on that last possession, they actually played good defense, they played extremely poor defense on that last possession. Just lazy closeouts, not knowing their assignments, leaving guys with wide open shots. And Indiana hasn't made them. They've only been 1 for 6 in the last. They've only been shooting field goals. They've only made one field goal of the last 6 attempts, but Michigan just hasn't been able to capitalize on that. They've been letting Indiana have their way, and just the last play with Dawkins fumbling the ball out of bounds just really sums up the night. Just a lot of mental mistakes. Michigan is a lot better team than this, and this game should be a lot closer. And Indiana's a great team. We got to give them a lot of credit. I did expect their offense to come out like this, but I did not expect to see such a sloppy performance by Michigan. And they're going to continue to play this way. Then they have no chance of getting back in this game.
Yeah, I agree. Michigan just did not look like it was their night. Indiana showing that they are a much better team, and it's why they are leading in the Big Ten Conference right now. Indiana, great team. A lot of questions coming in still about the team. It did not just play through a much rather easier part of its Big Ten schedule. This is a big test for them, and so far they are answering that over what is a good Michigan team that just does not seem to be able to be finding its shot tonight. So both teams back on the floor now. Johnson about to inbound it for Indiana. And here we go. Johnson looking. Gives it back to Bielfeld down low. Guarded by Mark Donnell. Great move to the rim, and it's an easy basket for Max Bielfeld.
Yeah, the much smaller Max Bielfeld showing off his agility and finesse. around the rim there.
Irvin with the ball at the top of the key, drives to the rim on Bielfeldt, and it's an and one. Great job by Zach Irvin driving, attacking the rim, getting the basket, and getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, just a smart move. He got an angle on Robert Johnson, who was trailing behind him, and then he just blew by the less athletic Max Bielfeldt.
Irvin completes the and one. Indiana now taking the ball to the court. Yogi Ferrell. Tonight, 17 points. Gives it to Johnson at the top of the key. Back to Hartman. Gives it to Zeisloft. Yogi Ferrell dribbling around down to the baseline corner. Back to Bielfeldt, looking to shoot. Did not take the shot. Bielfeldt, great pass to Robert Johnson. Great backdoor cut. Indiana, another layup.
You got to be disappointed with Aubrey Dawkins on that play. Just kind of fell asleep at the wheel again, and great cut by Johnson there. And that's why Bielfeldt is hesitant to play Dawkins a lot of minutes, is because he's not the best off-ball defender.
Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman on the other end with a nice drive to the rim and a little easy layup. Indiana now, Yogi Ferrell ball at the top of the key. Indiana kind of slowing down the tempo now with such a commanding lead, and a great pass down low to Robert Johnson from Colin Hartman, and another backdoor cut, and again Michigan asleep on defense. Dawkins pass down low to Zach Irvin, who promptly turns it over. Robert Johnson now dribbling the ball up the floor to Bielfeldt down low, takes the shot, and in and out.
Yeah, if you're Zach Irvin on that last possession, you got to go up with it. You're right under the rim. Tried to pass it out there. Dumb move by Irvin.
Irvin with a nice little mid-range jumper, pull-up jumper. Great shot by him. Indiana now, Yogi Ferrell dribbling ball up the court. Indiana with a commanding 24-point lead now as we hit the 5-minute mark. Zeisloft with the ball, gives it to Colin Hartman. Back to Robert Johnson. Dishes is out. Back to Nick Zeisloft. This three ball does not go. Dawkins with the rebound, gives it to Zach Irvin, dribbling up the court. Irvin quickly drives to Donnell in the corner, back out to Irvin at the top. Irvin with the three, and that is good.
Yeah, he's feeling it now. Zach Irvin scored the last 3 points, 3 field goals for Michigan, and he's finally heating up. It's probably too late, but it's still a good sign to see for Michigan fans.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too late. Tom Cran wants a timeout on the floor. Indiana with a 73-52 lead over the Wolverines. 4:43 left to go in this game, and I think it's safe to say that Michigan is pretty much run out of time to come back in this game. A lot of fans continuing to leave the Chrysler Arena, including much of the student section. I do not blame them. Michigan just did not have much going for them this night. And now for Michigan, it does not get much easier now. I mean, this is the hard part of its Big Ten schedule coming up. I mean, Indiana's tonight. Now Saturday, they've got number 10 Michigan State coming into Ann Arbor. And they've got Purdue, Ohio State, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Iowa left on its schedule still. Michigan, if they wanted to show that they could be an upper echelon Big Ten team, needed to have a good performance tonight, but did not show it. What do you think Michigan now is looking at with the rest of this a daunting Big Ten schedule? What do you think Michigan has to do to adjust in order to try and get through this Big Ten, the rest of this Big Ten schedule?
Well, right now, with Michigan being down 21 points with only 4 minutes left to go, I think it's safe to say that this game is lost. But these minutes are still important right now for Beilein and this Wolverines squad. Right now, it's playing a lot for pride and also for Beilein to find things out about his team.
And it looked like on the screen there they showed Devin Garner and Denard Robinson, 2 prominent Michigan alums returning. On the other court, Indiana breaking the full court press, and it was all too easy with Anunoby with a strong dunk.
Yeah, that was just bad execution on the press. The up guys have to come back and help out. You can't leave Ricky Doyle on an island guarding 2 people.
On the other court, Zach Irvin passed down low. Ricky Doyle was knocked out of bounds by Indiana. Michigan's ball. Irvin will inbound this pass. New face on the floor for the Wolverines. DJ Wilson has checked in. Zach Irvin with a three, no good. Rebounded by DJ Wilson. He puts it back. Nice little opening start for DJ Wilson.
And it looked like Michigan was supposed to set up the press, but they fell asleep at the wheel. And Indiana's now quickly in their half-court offense.
Indiana very fast at getting the ball up the court. Nick Zeisloff with the ball, gives it back to Yogi Ferrell, guarded by Zach Irvin, dishes it out to Robert Johnson, and he hits another three. Robert Johnson, that's a second three of the game. Indiana's lead to 24. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman taking the ball up the court. That gives it to Duncan Robinson. Robinson with the pull-up jumper. That's good.
Looks like the shooters for Michigan are starting to finally feel their stroke. Might be a little bit too late, but it's still good to see that they still have it.
Yogi Ferrell with the ball. Now looking just to hold on to it. I don't think Indiana's going to be playing with much tempo, just trying to kill this clock. We are coming up on 3 minutes now. Anunoby with the ball. Gives it to Yogi Ferrell. Pump fake. Double pump fake, but airballs the ball. Zach Irvin now taking the ball up the court. Drives. Beautiful pass to DJ Wilson who finishes the easy layup.
Michigan's finally executing some offense. A great drive by Zach Irvin using his body to create, and a nice cut by Wilson.
And Yogi Ferrell does a masterful job slicing through that double team and that full court press. Michigan's full court press not really offering much resistance to Indiana. Thomas Bryant now with the ball, who drives, and after trying to tip it back in, didn't go back in, tips it back in again, and this time it falls. Thomas Bryant, just a dominant player, dominant performance tonight. And looks like a foul on the court. No, sorry, forgive me, a timeout on the floor. So, 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Indiana leading 80-58 against the Wolverines. And as I was saying earlier, talking about Michigan and facing the rest of its Big Ten schedule, does tonight, if you're a Michigan fan, give you a little bit of concern going into the rest of the Big Ten schedule?
This game for Michigan fans is really a wake-up call. It finally showed Michigan what happens when you face a team with great athleticism and great team chemistry. It's led by senior point guard Yogi Ferrell. Man, this guy really does it all. He has the experience. He has the athleticism. He was part of the Indiana team that was a #1 seed in the tournament a few years back that lost in the Elite Eight. So Yogi Ferrell's a guy who's seen it all, and he just does everything with his athleticism, and he puts the defense on its heels and helps create shots for other players. And that's the first time Michigan saw a player like this in Melo Trimble. But the difference with that Maryland team is that team had a lot of transfers, and so they didn't have the team chemistry yet. But this Indiana team has really been clicking on all cylinders, and Michigan really has to get its act together. I know they're missing Karis LeVert, a key part to their team, but they need to play much better than this if they want a chance to play and contend in the Big Ten. And like you said, they have a tough schedule coming up. This Indiana game might not even be the hardest game. They have Michigan State coming up, and if they're going to play like this against the other elite teams in the Big Ten, the Michigan States, the Iowas, then Michigan's not really going to have a chance to really be relevant in the Big Ten.
Yes, and like you said, best team that plays with great chemistry, a lot of athleticism. Like Indiana, Michigan State is like that, and they're coming into Ann Arbor this Saturday, led by one of the best college basketball coaches there is in Tom Izzo. Michigan is going to have its hand full. A lot of preparation it needs to do this week in order to try and make this Michigan State game competitive and try and come out with a win. Now back to the action on the court. Both teams coming back out. Looks like for Indiana we have Max Bielfeldt, Robert Johnson, Mark Burton, Yogi Ferrell, and Juwan Morgan on the court. Michigan with the ball now. Cam Chapman, who's entered the game. Chapman promptly puts in a jumper.
That's great to see from Cam Chapman, someone who really struggled with a lot of confidence issues.
Once again, Indiana quickly breaks the full court press. Robert Johnson three, no good, but ball bounces right into Bax Bielfeldt at the top of the key. And Indiana will now get a chance to kill another 30 seconds off the clock. Robert Johnson with the ball now, guarded by DJ Wilson. Robert Johnson probably just waiting to take that shot clock down low. Gives it to number 10, to Burton. Now Juwan Morgan. Back to Bielfeldt. Bielfeldt puts it up, and it looks like the ball is off Moritz Wagner, who is also in the game, and Indiana will retain possession. And Tom Crean wants a timeout, and with 1:22 left in the game, score still remains 80-60, and not much has changed, of course, in the last minute since the timeout. Michigan putting some younger guys on the floor. We haven't seen a lot of playing time. Cam Chapman, DJ Wilson, Andrew Dockich, Moritz Wagner, guys that I think Michigan would like to see get some experience. I think, especially guys like Cam Chapman, guys that I think they hope to get a bigger contribution out of the season, but seemingly just hasn't been able to put it together. But regardless, now is a good chance for them to at least get some minutes on the court.
Yeah, 1 second left. Bielfeldt's shot never hit the rim, so the shot clock is still at 1.
Indiana will have to get a shot off very quickly. And throws it up. And it looks like a foul on the court. On Juwan Morgan, number 13. Dockich bringing the ball up the court. DJ Wilson now with a fadeaway jumper, and he hits that one.
And the reserves for Michigan really stepping up here.
Yeah, they're hitting making some shots, which is nice to see. And Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman with the foul. Not entirely sure why Michigan is fouling at this point. Down by 18. Really no chance to come into this game. But regardless, though, competitive spirit is what you want to see.
Yeah, gotta love the fight in both teams here.
Now Robert Johnson with the ball, guarded by Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. Gives it to Burton. Looked like there was a double dribble, but refs chose not to call it. And turnover for Indiana on Juwan Morgan. Michigan ball with 1:06 left. Now it looks like Yogi Ferrell will come out of the game. Sorry, Robert Johnson will come out of the game. On the other end, Andrew Dockich drives through and promptly rejected by Priller, who has just entered the game. Michigan will. It looked like it was actually a foul on Priller. Dockich will go to the line to shoot 2 and try and get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, great job on that last possession. The Michigan's press forced an uncharacteristic turnover on Robert Johnson's part and merited a substitution from Crean.
Dockich hits both free throws. He now has 2 points in the game. Michigan full court press. Indiana breaks that. Now to Tharp. Gives it now to Harrison Niego. Now to Juwan Morgan. Gives it to Burton. Back at the top of the key. Juwan Morgan with a long 3. No good. Rebounded by Andrew Dockich. Dribbles it up the court. Looking for someone. Gives it to wide open Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman on the corner, and he hits the 3. Indiana dribbling up the court, and looks like a foul on the court. Looks like the foul is on Andrew Dockich. And Indiana in the bonus will get to go to the free throw line and shoot 2. Ryan Burton now at the line to shoot 2 free throws. With the 1-and-1, Burton misses the first one. Chapman dribbling the ball up the court. This should be it. 8 seconds left in the game. Chapman shoots a 3, in and out. Rebounded DJ Wilson. No good. And that will do it. The clock says 0, and that is it. Indiana wins this one 80-67. Indiana really just dominating this game for most of this game, starting the second part of the first half all the way through the second half. This net game was never really in doubt. Michigan got a nice little run at the last couple of minutes, but really made no difference in this game. Indiana will now go. Michigan will go to 17-6 on the year, 7-3 in Big Ten play. Indiana, on the other hand, will go to 19-4 on the year, 9-1 in Big Ten conference play. And for Michigan, they now will have a home battle against its in-state rival this Saturday against the Michigan State Spartans. That should be a good matchup for the Wolverines. Now, Will, back to this game. Just give your final thoughts on this game.
Yeah, Michigan actually, after getting destroyed in the first half, kind of played Indiana evenly. Indiana maybe let off the gas pedal a little bit, but they showed, given all of Michigan's sloppy mistakes and all of Indiana's making its shots, Michigan actually showed they can hang with a team like this. So I think there's still a lot of hope for Michigan fans, but Michigan has to execute better on defense. They gave up so many transition points to Indiana, so many open shots, and just their offense stagnated way too many times. And against Michigan State, a team similar to Indiana that loves to move the ball around, great passing team, Michigan can't afford to make these same mistakes. And I think if they clean it up, Beilein will coach these guys up. And I think Michigan just cleans up its effort, makes smarter decisions on both offense and defense. I think they'll be in good shape going into the final stretch of the regular season.
I agree. And once again, final score here from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Indiana 80, Michigan 67. We'd like to thank you all for listening, and once again from Chrysler Arena. And from Chrysler Arena, I'm Jeff Chan, alongside with my colleague Will Yang. We'd like to wish you all a good night, and go blue.